Okay, worst hero.
Leonardo.
I did the exact same thing.
He's too bland. He's plain
like the
vanilla.
Cyclops to me.
Right. I think everyone would agree. He's the worst.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that there are, like, reasons to have him around, because, like, when Splinter's not there, he's the one that's like, this is fucking, you guys gotta do this shit, but it's like, because of that, he's like...
He's the one that's not fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Leo.
You blew it.
But just
with your responsibility and leadership skills. What are you thinking, you idiot?
You could have fucking gotten...
You should be partying.
And gotten everyone killed.
Yeah. Just party all the time.
Yeah. My Leo likes to party all the time, party all the time. So, best hero.
Raphael.
Cool.
Because he taught me how cool cursing could be. At a young, impressionable age.
Matt, cursing is never fucking okay.
Damn!
Sorry about the F word. I'd say Michelangelo.
Yeah.
That's not
He's a party
big surprise. I think almost everybody was like a huge fan of Michelangelo. Or
yeah.
I don't know, I think everybody, I mean, I never
He had the coolest weapon.
I hated any of the Turtles, really. I mean, like, they all brought something to the table. It's kind of like, this is another, like, best worst kind of deal. Like, yeah. They're all awesome, but Leonardo's just kind of a stick in the mud.
Actually, I messed up. I forgot who the worst turtle is.
Splinter, because he's not a turtle.
No, Dana Carvey from Master of Disguise. Turtle. Oh my god.
Franklin. Okay, so...
Am I not turtle, you know?
Let me in the turtle club, baby. Yo!
A turtle mini-me.
You gotta put on shades, our future's looking bright, mini-me. Okay, so let's move on to...
The main event!
Again.
That's the third time we've gone to the main event on this.
Hey, it's all a main event in my eyes.
Ding, ding!
And I've only been blind for 30 years.
Bam, 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 bam. I like to move it. Move it, Dan!
King Julian from Madagascar comes in, he's like, dun, dun, dun. I was like, wait, is that fucking rodent dancing? Okay, so I guess before we get too much further, before we do like best and worst of the movies, I thought I'd just do a little recap here. The Turtles have had like a lot of history. Obviously, you know, they started off in comics and that blew up. But I think where they really got huge was like the cartoon, the 80s cartoon. That of course was 1987 to 1996.
Wow.
And then I didn't know about this until just kind of recently, maybe like 5-6 years ago. But like in Japan, they had a 2-episode anime series in 1996 after the 80s cartoon ended. It was like to sell toys. But it was all the same characters, but like it was called Mutant Turtles Chojin Densetsu Hun. I don't know what the hell that means, but it had something to do with like Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder got like these stones that let them mutate too. Yeah, some stupid, like just something to sell like even more toys or whatever.
Yikes.
So I've never seen it before, but which kind of, I guess that makes me not a true fan, but I done goof, Matt.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Then in 1997. Is a live-action movie. Or wait, no, not the movie. What am I talking about here?
I think you skipped something.
Yeah, I did skip something. Maybe I didn't put the actual movies on here.
The musical stage experience.
I thought that I put that on there. I didn't get a chance to fill this out completely, I don't think. Yeah,
You're going to get an incomplete on this
I know. I got an A for effort. Anyway, okay, I guess this is going to be in chronological order. There's a live-action Ninja Turtles show, The Next Mutation, for like another turtle shows up, like the girl. 97 and 98.
Sounds about right.
Then the 2000 cartoon, 2003 to 2009. And the 2012 cartoon, 2012 to present, it's on Nickelodeon. Of course, in between there, they actually had, let's see here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, 2, 3. Then there was the CG movie, and then the one that they just did now, the reboot.
Which was also called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
right.
making it super confusing.
Yeah, and then now they're going to have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, so there'll be 2 1s and 2 2s. Yeah, I don't really have dates on the Turtles movies, but I thought those were like 90s.
Yeah, early
stuff.
90s.
Yeah.
I think 90, 91.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's like late 80s, early 90s, that whole like weird like transitional phase where things were still kind of like 80s, but not really.
Pre-CGI days.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that... There for a while they actually had like concurrent things going on. They had Turtles 1, Turtles 2, to a lesser extent Turtles 3, and then they kind of wiped the slate clean when Turtles 3 kind of shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the CG movie recently, and then they were like, fuck it, we're going to do live action with CG in number 5.
Yeah.
So, let's get to it, I guess. Unless you want to do you want to talk about any of these things?
Well, I was hoping to talk about some pizza power.
Oh, pizza power. It's always better the next day, man.
It's a saucer food delight.
Well, yeah.
Isn't that what?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny because I didn't know... The first time I heard that song was not the actual song. It was at the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Turtles in Time. They play that on the end credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like,
I didn't know.
Cowabunga. It's like, down, 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 down. But,
it's a great song. So catchy.
I actually...
Tell 'em Rav.
Tell 'em Rav. It's like, it's crispy. Yeah, it's crispy. Tell 'em Rav. And then, it's funny because okay, so what we're talking about is, let's see, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Coming Out of Our Shells tour. And that's...
Did you ever actually see that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. I've actually got the entire album on Amazon, because you can just buy it from Amazon MP3 now.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty much it was, after the success of the movies, they had this whole thing that was sponsored pretty much by Pizza Hut, that they went on tour, and they came to different cities, and it was just pre-recorded like music that they had made, and people in Turtles costumes came out and like pretended like they were singing to it.
It was Turtles on Ice, basically.
Yeah,
without
pretty
the
much.
ice.
And they had Shredder there, but Shredder looked like shit. Like he didn't even look like his costume wasn't right. And Baxter Stockman was like insane or something. He was like,
who were the
laughing
guys that
weird.
wrote the comic originally? Eastman and Laird?
Yeah.
These guys are probably rolling in their graves at that point.
Peter Eastman and like Kevin Laird or something like that. But I'm sure they were like cha-ching.
Yeah,
So it didn't really matter.
Dollar signs.
They were rolling in their like money bins.
Bills.
But yeah, like and honestly, I think Pizza Power is a good song. They have a couple other songs that aren't too bad, but like there's some on there that are really weird. Like Splinter sings, but he doesn't sing like in a Japanese accent. He's like skipping stones. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Skipping stones?
Yeah, he's like, I was a small boy, skipping stone.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Was he like living on the bayous of Japan?
Yeah. And then April sings a song, and then even though Shredder's trying to get rid of like all music, he's like,
Oh my god.
he's like, no, I've destroyed all music, and then he starts singing, and it's like, dude, you're fucking doing the opposite of what you should be doing.
Unbelievable.
And then at the very end, they sing a song called like "You Can Count on Us," and it goes on for like 12 minutes. Like, we're the turtles, you can count on us. And it's just
That's
like
probably when they were wheeling out like the fucking like purchase bins where you buy merchandise.
Corpse of Eddie Hoffa. Yeah, it's. I mean, it was a different time. Obviously, like I don't know if maybe if like Turtles got really big, they would do that again, but it would probably look a shit ton better than that.
Yeah.
And then they also apparently, from what I heard, they had like shows they would put on in like Six Flags theme parks or some other parks that were even worse quality.
Yikes.
Yeah. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Turtles coming out of our shells. They also had some like direct to like video cassette.
Oh yeah.
The Turtles Christmas and like Turtles tunes. And the Christmas one is pretty funny, but like the Turtles tunes is like even worse. It's like it goes even more downhill.
No man.
But you have to watch at least once if you haven't seen it, because like the Turtles costumes are even worse than they were on tour.
Jesus.
So you can see like the crotches are flopping all over the place. Like not the people in the costume, but like
Right.
the
It's like loose.
the suit. Yeah, it's like too loose for the people in this in them. And there's a part where like Michelangelo turns and the head goes up and you can see the guy's like face and everything. Like it's so horrifying. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like Turtles were just everywhere back in the day. I mean, they were like obviously turtle pizza, but it was like turtle ice cream and turtle mac and cheese and like anything you can think of that they could sell turtle oxygen.
Yeah, it was a cash cow and they milked it.
Yeah.
To death.
I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Like
it worked.
Yep. But okay, so obviously I guess we'll go through. We'll probably just end up talking about most of these anyway. But I guess let's do. Let's just start with. Do you want to do best or worst?
Let's do worst so we can end on a positive.
Okay. I'd say my worst would either be.
You gotta.
I know.
You gotta go.
I would say TMNT 3.
Yeah.
The new one was crap, but at least there was entertaining parts in it.
Okay.
I feel that 3 was just so fucking boring. Like I can't really go back and watch that movie. I've done it every once in a while, but like the only good part about it is like when Casey Jones takes like the samurai to like the bar and they're dancing to like Tarzan Boy.
Okay, so on my worst, I had the exact same thought process that you had, except I went the reverse because at least Turtles 3 had Tarzan Boy on the soundtrack. So that's one redeeming feature.
Yeah, but the new one at least had like, I don't know. This is kind of like debating shit versus piss. Right? It's like
which tastes better.
Yeah, it's like they both taste like shit and piss.
There you have it.
3 was just the worst for the old Turtles movies because by the time they got around to 3, it could have been way better. They focused on a boring plot that had no Shredder.
Is there any action in that movie at all?
There's
I don't think there's
maybe
anything happens.
3 fights. Like most of them don't even have Michelangelo in them. I think there's one fight with all the turtles, and even that it's like crap.
Man, so all 3 of those movies came out like the same week as my birthday.
Really?
So we went like with a bunch of the neighborhood kids to go see it. Like the first one loved it.
I bet the third one they
second
just
one
beat your
loved
ass.
it. Third one, birthday ruined.
Really?
Yeah.
I can only imagine when that day will come. Yeah, it's just it was crap. Like
It was straight up crap.
I
But man, that Tarzan Boy song is great.
The only thing I can
Which
say
has
is
nothing to do with the quality of the movie.
At least Splinter looked way better in like the new Turtles than he did in the old one.
Oh, I see. I totally disagree with you on that. I didn't like the way he looked in the new one.
He looks way better than the old one.
Well, I like the way the old one looked.
He looked like shit in the third one.
He looked cute.
Cute? He looked like a fucking dead dog.
A dying dog.
Yeah.
He looked like a horrifying beast in the new one.
Well, that's what a turtle would look like if he was a Splinter.
True.
A turtle. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like... If I had to, I would go back to puppetry, but at the same time, it was just... I find that movie so boring.
Yeah,
just nothing happens.
I couldn't face watching it again.
Like, I think my whole thing is that I always... as bad as a movie is, if it, like, at least entertains me for some of the movie, I'll give it somewhat of a pass. But, like, Turtles 3, there was just so many times where they had some bullshit plot against... Like, it's such a stock plot where it's, like, a Japanese guy and a foreigner, and the guy that comes in has, like, guns, and the other guy's stuck to doing swords, and it's like...
Right, it was totally
This
generic.
should not fucking be in a Turtles movie. Like...
It was weird that they made them look different, too. Like, they had spots.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What's going on here?
I think, like, those movies are shit for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, Turtles 3 is kind of boring, but they also have that same boring part where, like, they're not focusing on the turtles enough in either one. Like in the new Turtles, they didn't focus enough on them, and they focused too much on Megan Fox as April. And in Turtles 3, they focused too much on, like, the crappy plot with, like, time traveling, like, back to Japan and, like, some other shit when they could have just made a good Shredder fight again.
I think the thing about the new one that has it worst on my list is, like, it was such a soulless product.
Yeah.
Like, put together by studio heads. That they weren't even trying to make a movie. At least the third one's a movie. It's a boring movie. It's a movie I never want to see again. But that new one isn't even a movie. It's a commercial.
I would say the third one's a commercial, too.
Well, they all are.
Yeah.
It's really...
Here we are debating which was worse, fucking Turtles 5 or Turtles 3.
Sad.
They're just shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like they're the worst movies I've ever seen, but they're like, I think more than anything, it's like a disappointment thing. I think if I had to just put them in a category, I would put them in, these are the worst because they are disappointing, because the third one was like a movie where you're like, oh, I'm finally going to see like Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and all those characters are going to be together. Nope. Shredder's not even in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then the fifth one was like disappointing because they couldn't decide who they wanted the movie to be about. April, this white guy named Sax, like, Shredder was in it for, like, 10 minutes, and the Turtles were in it for, like, 4. Like...
And they fell off a skyscraper and lived.
Yeah.
And they never explained how.
They, like, stopped at the last second, but it was, like, ridiculous. I was like, what? Okay, so, enough of that shit.
Alright.
Let's talk about,
the best.
The Beast.
The best around.
Gillette's the best a man can get. What do you think, Matt?
It's a pretty easy answer for me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah?
The first movie is the best.
It's TURTLE power.
By far.
Yeah. I put TMNT 1 and 2, but only because of the Vanilla Ice part and Super Shredder. But
those were pretty awesome.
as a movie, as a whole, the rest of it was pretty crap.
Ninja,
It wasn't
ninja,
crap, but...
Rap, ninja, crap.
that Token Razar just ruined that fucking movie for me. Like,
See, I liked him when I was a kid. But that's because I was dumb as shit when I was a little kid.
You were literally dumb?
Yeah.
You were drooling?
I was struck dumb.
You were like...
I thought they were cool puppets.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
But they're totally lame characters.
Yeah, it's... To me, I think it's another, like, missed opportunity. It's like, yeah, they've come out and said, hey, you know, Bebop and Rocksteady, they could have been in this movie if we gotten the rights, but fucking just try harder and get the rights. You know what I mean? Like, It's like, they...
Or come up with new characters.
Right, well, it's like,
of knockoffs.
They fucking were banking on that, obviously, because that's what what they did. They did the exact same thing. Because the exact same thing of what, like, happened in the cartoons is, like, Bebop and Rocksteady get their powers, they go, like, into the city and start, like, tearing shit up, and then like, Turtles eventually confront them. And that's exactly what happens in the fucking, like, movie. And it's like...
And the old people see him, like, terrorizing the city. Oh, this city is going down the tubes. No, they're horrible monsters. Yeah. They're not, like, street toughs.
Not only that, but...
Idiots.
Oh my... Dude, everybody in New York apparently is stupid as shit. Because, like, they're always like, look at those turtle costumes. I'm like, yeah, that fucking talk and blink? Are you high? Yeah. There's no fucking way.
He's wearing a trench coat. He's a man.
Yeah, what, like...
Look at his feet.
Those old people. I can't believe the city... It's like, I'd be fucking running.
Yeah.
And like...
Like, you just pushed over a power line. A guy couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen a guy just walk and push over a fucking power line.
Yeah.
Or, like, flip a car on his own.
Like, well, yeah, this is fun. It's like, well, that's not the fucking point.
This neighborhood's getting really terrible, Lenny. It's like, get out of here.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
And that reason alone is why that movie sucks.
Whatever. Those people are dead anyway. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, because they're blind. They probably drove into a bridge embankment.
A bridge embankment?
Right.
So, like, the bridge is, like, going over nothing, and then it just... I don't know. Oh, my God. I can't believe that shit. Those old people are idiots.
Yeah.
That one scientist from the second one is almost, like, the only saving grace.
David Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's usually pretty good in everything.
That whole thing, though, it's like, TGI, we spilled this chemical in like a big sunflower. And it's like,
A big dandelion or whatever.
yeah, it's just like, what is this shit?
That's cool.
And then, like, the Shredder's like, I'm back, assholes. And it's like the only thing that was, like, messed up with his armor. It's like, huh? Yeah, because at the end of Turtles 1, Casey Jones murders the fuck out of him.
Straight up murders him.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Well, he says, oops. Maybe he didn't mean it.
It was a mistake.
He's like, oops. And I'm like, huh? Does he say oops? I thought he did.
Yeah, but he says it, like, facetiously.
Yeah. What's that mean?
He says it in a sleazy way.
He killed Shredder in a cheesy way. Trying to save those kids.
Save the city for the kids.
Just the way it is.
Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? Fuck this shit. Let's just go through the movies and stuff. Like, Turtles 1, great movie. Going through that movie, I mean, I think, like, not only what makes that movie so great is, you know, and awesome, is they put so much care at, like, the Jim Henson production. They just, they gave a fuck for once, which is one of the reasons why a lot of these other movies feel like shit, because they just took it and they just ran with it, but they didn't put care into it.
Right.
Like, every time I've seen a Jim Henson production, it's always, like, regardless of what it is, you know, even if it was, like, you know, stupid as fuck premise, they put, like, their own, you know, heart and soul into it, and it actually becomes something worth watching.
The costumes are great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's actually a script
Yeah.
with this real story that, like, you can follow.
Yeah.
Which is better than, you know, the new movie.
Right. Or pretty much any of these other ones on this list.
Some of the actors in it are really good.
Yeah.
Like, Elias Codius
yeah.
is great as Casey Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's in, like, real grungy New York City.
Yeah.
Like, it's not totally fake looking.
Right.
The Shredder is intimidating.
Right.
There's cool music in it. It's
Yeah.
like, what more do you want? It's a great movie. The action scenes are well done, and, like, there's good, like, you know, fighting choreography.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Turtles 2.
Less. Just like the first one, but, like, less.
Yeah. It's like they didn't really use their weapons.
The story's a little more incoherent. The fighting's not as good.
It's a little bit more geared, like,
The acting's not as good.
Like, they don't cuss. Which, I mean, they knew where their market was, but I think if they had kept it, like the first one,
yeah,
kids would have liked it anyway.
The first one was a slightly edgy.
Yeah.
The second one, all that edge was gone.
Yeah. Their faces were a lot cuter in the second one. Like, I remember when Donatello would talk, it was like...
The jokes were a lot weaker.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty play.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. And then what was it? Crap. Like, Michelangelo always had pretty good jokes, even in the second one. I thought those were... Like, he would do impressions that were kind of funny, but
Yeah.
other than that, it was like...
Cagney.
Yeah. Third.
I loved a good Cagney joke when I was like 4.
Give me a fucking Dom DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, any day of the week.
Dom DeLuise as Shredder.
Yeah. Oh my boy.
So the first one had the end credits song by MC Hammer.
Yes.
So the second one had to outdo it with a cameo appearance
Yeah.
by Vanilla Ice.
Hell yeah, man.
And when the Turtles broke into that club,
He just fucking...
and I saw that for the first time, like,
Yeah.
was the greatest moment of my fucking life.
He
It was
busted
so
a fucking
awesome.
ninja rap on the spot.
Yeah.
Totally.
And, like, the choreographed dance was totally improvised.
Yeah.
But everyone knew it.
It was so great. And then
He was ready for ninjas to burst into his club.
He's like, this is going to happen. Well, I don't really get where that club was, because it was situated
It was
right
like on
next
the
to...
docks.
Yeah, it was right next to an abandoned, like, construction site.
And the fucking ocean.
Yeah, the fucking ocean. This ooze ain't even... Super Shredder wasn't even ready for the ocean.
Some mean-ass ooze.
So, yeah, at the end of that movie, we got Super Shredder. That was fucking awesome, but he got destroyed by beams somehow.
He destroyed himself.
Yeah, that was the weakest shit I've ever seen. He like survived a fall off of a building into a fucking garbage truck and was crushed by Casey Jones and survived, but he like busted up a bunch of beams and died.
It was the equivalent of just like him blowing himself up for no reason.
Yeah, it was such. I think that was like the only part of it. Like there were a couple of parts in that movie I didn't like, and that was one of them because it was so anticlimactic.
Right, but the Super Shredder was a cool costume.
It was.
It was totally scarifying.
Of course, played by Kevin Nash, the wrestler.
Yep.
Big Sexy. That's his wrestler name, not actually. I wasn't calling him Big Sexy. I'm like, he's big and sexy. Diesel. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Nice.
Back then, pretty much like wrestling and like Turtle, like all that stuff was like super hot. Like super like awesome.
It's like the heyday of WWF.
Yeah, WCW, all that stuff. It was huge. And then Turtles 3, we've talked about a little bit, but fucking, I don't know what to say, man.
It ruined my birthday. I know that much.
Yeah. I like how the movie starts off and it's not even in present day. It's like they have that whole thing where like there's some shit with like somebody being, they're on horses or something. I'm like, what's going on here? This isn't even a Turtles movie, is it? Because the first one starts off and it's like they eventually get revealed and you're like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the second one starts off and it's like, what's it like? Kino finds there's people like robbing that place and the turtles show up and save the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, it's like they get revealed like they're like jerking off or something.
I don't think that happened.
Well, I mean, like pretty much they were just shitting on the floor or something. It was so stupid. Do you remember what happened?
They were just kind of there.
Yeah, it was like there was nobody gave a fuck. Because I don't remember. Like it was just so boring. Although they all came out doing like the fucking like conga line or some shit. They were just like except for they weren't doing that. That song wasn't in that, sadly.
Nope.
Yeah.
But Tarzan Boy was, and that's just it was the breakout hit of the summer.
Well, I don't know. What did you think about the CG movie, or did you see that one?
I saw it.
Okay.
I think I borrowed it from you.
That's maybe. Right. Okay.
Because I didn't see that one in theaters.
That one was another one where I was kind of disappointed that like Shredder wasn't in it. It was like it was like it was awesome. The action was sweet.
The action was really good. I don't remember. I've only saw it one time. The plot was
weak as shit.
The action sequences were really good.
Yeah, the plot was really weak because there was no like correlation to like Krang or Shredder or like any other lore from like any of the movies or any of the comics or anything. It was just like about like this brand new guy that was voiced by like I think Patrick Stewart or some shit, which is cool, which was great. But it's like it was a movie that like once again that I thought the Turtles were great, but like the bad guys were not, which is kind of like I don't know. After 2, it kind of became an ongoing thing. Like 3, didn't give a shit about the bad guys. 4, didn't give a shit about the bad guys. 5, didn't give a shit about the bad guys. And that's horrible when you have like people that you like. If like the Turtles in 5, I actually thought were interesting to watch. I thought they had great chemistry, but it was like, where the fuck are their bad guys?
Right.
Like the Shredder just fucking showed up in their lair somehow with the fucking like foot squads or whatever that was like they were straight out of Call of Duty with guns and shit.
Right.
I was like, what? Even though I saw like some photos from the set and no one has a gun in the Foot Clan. They're all like they have swords and like ninjutsu and shit like that.
For the new one, you mean?
Yeah, and they've like hired like a new person to play Shredder. Good. Yeah. Looks fucking sweet. But okay, let's talk about real quick the 5th one. What do you think? Well, we've already talked about it, but I mean,
it was very bad.
Like, yeah, I don't really know.
The one good thing I'll say is that the characters themselves weren't horrible.
Yeah, that was actually the one thing I was worried about. It actually became the thing in the movie that was really good. Yeah. Like, I thought, like, even though, like, the models were maybe a little scary, like, and terrifying, like, the actual, like, actors, the voice actors, like, Tony Shalhoub is Splinter and, like, Shredder. Splinter and, like, Johnny Knoxville's Leonardo. Like, you could...
He was the one I couldn't quite get past him. I mean, as much as
I thought he was great. I couldn't... I mean, like... I couldn't tell it was him after a while. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I thought he was fine, but I think they could have cast a better person. Or maybe I know Johnny Knoxville's voice too well.
him.
I just couldn't quite get over the fact that he was him.
And when I first heard the casting, I didn't really get it, but like, and I
fine.
don't really care. I mean, it was one of those things where I could see, like, if they wanted to cast somebody else, it's fine. But he was like, Leonard is always like the character I care least about, so he wasn't like, oh man. At least he wasn't like being totally out of control. He was just like, you know, I think he was trying to not be as Johnny Knoxville as possible. I don't know who else was in the movie, like, playing voice, but they did a good job too.
I agree.
Megan Fox did not do a good job.
Or did Will Arnett. It was, like, embarrassing to watch.
Yeah. Will Arnett I was most disappointed with because I've actually seen him do good shit.
Oh, yeah, he's hilarious in tons of stuff.
Yeah. I think he was just saddled with a shit character. Yeah. It was just like, he was that sad guy that didn't get that Megan Fox didn't like him.
Yeah, the plot was totally incoherent.
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense.
Yeah.
At one point, they're on, like, the mountain, which is near New York City.
Well, yeah, like they went
Mount Everest.
Yeah, they went to go, like, I forget what happened.
It was just totally lazy.
They went to go, like, do something, like, save someone or get something from, like, a place. And, like, oh, no, April went to go to, like, Sax's.
The lab.
Place or whatever. And, like, fucking some shit happened, and then the turtles were there for some reason, and then Will Arnett was looking at Megan Fox's ass for some reason. Well, well, I guess his character wanted to look at her butt, but
that's inappropriate.
I was like, I just want to, like, see the turtles. It's pretty bad when I would rather see the turtles than see someone's butt. I mean, not someone's, but, like, I just want to see someone's butt. Come on.
There's not enough butts in this movie. I want Teenage Mutant Ninja butts.
Butt ugly Martians. I'm like fartknocker.com. Yeah, there was just really weak characters. Like the humans, the non-CG did not bring it, which is fucking lame in a movie. Like if you can't outperform the CG, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You should just quit acting. Like
the design of the Shredder was cool, I thought.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it was pretty menacing. I didn't like and I thought it was cool how he could actually like fight all of them.
Yeah.
Cuz like but I would have given a shit probably more if like you had actually seen Shredder by himself like for more than like 5 seconds. Like Sax goes into this office and like this bald dude that you don't know who the fuck he is until you find out he's Shredder like halfway through the scene. He's like, yeah, and then everything's taken care of. I really should those motherfuckers, and oh, by the way, you're Shredder.
Like, here's my buddy, Bill Shredder.
Yes.
Like, what?
I actually thought at first Sax was, like, the guy that played Sax was going to be Shredder, and I was just like, I
know.
But even, it was even weirder when they revealed it was, like, who the guy was. Because it was like a dude that I thought was just an extra in the fucking movie, and it turned out to be the villain of the fucking movie. Which actually wasn't the villain, because the villain was Sax, which shouldn't have even been a character.
Again, it goes back to a totally incoherent plot.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know what they were thinking. I think it also comes from, like, they didn't know what kind of fucking movie they wanted to make. Because they were, like, I remember following the news every single day, and they were flipping and flopping on what they were going to do for things.
Right.
They were like, first it's going to be, like, straight up turtles, and it's going to be super gritty, and then they're like, actually, now we're going to make it aliens, and now we're not going to do that, and now this is going to happen. Actually, we're switching it back, and I'm like, okay, so this movie's supposed to come out in, like, a month, and you guys are still deciding what the fuck is going on in this movie. Yep. He was just flipping all over the place.
It's total, like studio committee filmmaking instead of, like, trying to make a good movie.
Instead of, like, someone writing a script, them opting it to be a screenplay, and then
a director
turning
with a
it
vision
into a fucking movie. Right. Yeah.
It was so soulless.
Clusterfuck. Which is, I mean, I guess it makes sense why the CG was great, because it was just a handful of people directing those actors in scenes.
Yeah.
And they all knew the vision because they had to animate it a certain way. They can't animate different shit. Their literal arms are fucking flopping around. Like, you fucking idiot. His arms aren't supposed to be fighting in this scene. He's like, yeah, how you doing, fucking Mikey?
That would have been better.
It would have been funny as fuck. Maybe I want to see. Did you ever see the Shrek bloopers? Like
no, like
from,
glitches.
Yeah, from like when they first made the movie and like the fucking skin would just disappear, like on one scene.
Awesome.
And it'd be like, or like the mouth would move, like go, so it would just be teeth, and he'd be like, Jesus, like shit like that. It's like, jeez, man. Nice. But yeah, Turtles. I've got high hopes. I know I said this for Turtles 5, and honestly, like I said many times, the CG Turtles were great, but they need to fucking bring the actors need to bring the heat. I mean, I don't know, like Sheamus, he's a good wrestler. I'm not sure. I guess he doesn't really have to be like super articulate. He's playing fucking Rocksteady.
Yeah, like a street punk.
Right, and like whoever's playing Bebop, I'm sure he'll do a great job. And I know the guy that plays Arrow is a great actor. And like Casey Jones really, like, he's already playing that kind of character on Arrow, like the vigilante.
Okay.
So I have a, I know he'll be able to do that. It's just, I'm afraid Megan Fox is going to fucking put her, like, fucking head in the entire movie and just fuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because no matter how many crappy movies they make, we're going to keep going to see them just because we're loyal to the brand.
Yeah, so well, I just know that it could be so great. And
yeah, as evidenced by the first movie.
Yeah, and it's just, it sucks that, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be like that person that's like, man, Megan Fox is the worst shit ever, and I want to give her a chance, but fucking she was in Transformers, and she was fucking horrible in that movie, and she was horrible in this fucking movie, and, like,
yeah.
I've never really seen her in anything else, but, like, it's mainly, like, she just doesn't care.
Yeah,
and
you could,
to me, it's
you
like,
could tell it was totally phoned in Turtles.
Right, and I'm just like, dude, they could get, like, someone that's never acted before, and they'd be better than her.
I agree.
Like, fucking someone that actually is hungry to fucking play that part.
Exactly.
And, like, she just didn't give a shit. And that whole subplot with, like, oh, by the way, I remember that those were actually my turtles. It's like, how the fuck would you ever forget that? They were fucking breaking out of cages and shit. Because they were, like, super strong. It's like, what? Oh, my God. Fucking... You get to talk like dicks. Whatever. Fuck him. He's an ass. Okay.
All right, should we wrap up?
You got anything else to say about anything ever again? Because I'm going to murder you.
Oh my God.
This has become a snuff cast. Are you ready? What is your wishes, Matt, for Turtles?
I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like the first movie was a perfect Turtles movie, and I don't know that they could ever do better than that one.
I think they can. I think Turtles 1 was just...
I think you're wrong!
I think you're fucked.
Put up your dukes!
Yeah. I think...
Stop hitting me! Oh! Right in the kisser.
I think that the Turtles 1 was just the setup. It was just the appetizer, and they could do so much better, but they just decided to be lazy. And that's how I feel about it. Like, I feel like if somebody with, like, a vision came along that actually cared enough about the Turtles, like, pretty much they have to get, like, a fan in there. Kind of like when the Wachowski siblings made, what was it? Fucking Speed Racer.
Yeah.
That fucking movie was awesome. Like, people were like, oh, Speed Racer, that movie sucked, but it's like, the fucking cartoon fucking sucked. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm a huge fan. Like, there's probably nobody that's much, bigger fan of Speed Racer, but the fucking animation was shit. Mm-hmm. The dialogue was pretty shit. It was just what it was. It's kind of like, back then they didn't have a lot of budget, and they just kind of, like, did what they did, and the characters didn't have a lot of character. So,
yeah,
like, they took it, and they ran with it, and they made a great movie. I think you have to get people that are passionate about it, like the people that made Three Stooges, that actually did their homework and gave a shit, and were actually fans. Like,
that's true, but here's my final thought, and this is the saddest thought.
I've just taken science. This will be my last night on Earth.
The first movie was good because it was a martial arts movie. Mm-hmm. No Turtles movie from now until the end of time will ever be a martial arts movie again, because it's all CGI nonsense.
I don't know about that. It could be. It just depends.
Are they ever? You think that at some point they'll have real dudes fighting?
They could be. I mean, they're doing it with Star Wars.
Are they?
I mean, as far as they're not using as much CG is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what they're saying.
I can't.
Everything is all CG.
I can't believe I'm hearing this from Matt, the master of horror, the master of the macabre.
When we first started to get into action movies, like it was before the days of CGI, and the thing that we liked about them was seeing like really cool fighting being executed, and like cool stunts being executed.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anymore. It's a lot more rare now.
Right.
So that's my thing about the Marvel movies and the new Turtles movie. It's just like it might as well be a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, let me see some real fights. Let me see some real stunts. And I think those days are behind us.
Yeah, but then that means every movie sucks at this point.
A lot of them do, and that's why a movie like Mad Max Fury Road comes out and blows everyone away.
Because it was all CG.
Fuck you!
No, that movie was great. Wait,
because it was all real stunts.
No.
Well,
not that tornado.
Whatever. They filmed that inside a real apocalyptic tornado. You didn't hear about that? It took over like all of Australia.
Fucking Samoa Joe.
No, there was a lot of CGI in that, but there were a lot of real stunts in it too.
The CGI in that, okay, so I think that CG can be done well as evidenced in that movie. Nope. I knew there were parts... God damn it. I knew there were parts in that movie that were CG and you could kind of tell what they were, but they weren't. You couldn't. You were like, are these real? Or
they did it the right way because it was all based on reality.
And they could do that like in movies.
Yeah.
And I think that like we will see more of that, but it takes a fan like, you know, like the guy that actually fucking pioneered doing the Mad Max movies to actually come back and do it.
Yeah.
You know, like if they had someone that actually gave enough of a shit like that, or like the people that did Speed Racer, or like fucking, you know, Three Stooges to come along. Mm-hmm. Like, and they weren't like... Because I honestly think that, like, Star Wars is going to be really good, but I don't know. What do you think? Oh, wait, before we end this, you said you were going to talk about some stuff for Star Wars.
I've mentioned it for other
stuff. This was
off
the podcast, but this is on the bonus.
I just started to realize that, you know, Star Wars, the beginning of the end is happening right now with the Star Wars franchise.
Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't the prequels, that's for sure.
It wasn't. Because Star Wars, in its inception, was the vision of one filmmaker trying to make a great movie. The original Star Wars is George Lucas's vision.
Oh, you mean because like now like other people can get a hold of it?
Now it's a studio's vision.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making casting decisions based on trying to get, you know, the most diverse cast possible, which I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. But it's the decisions of a studio trying to maximize like their dollars versus a filmmaker trying to make his personal vision into a movie. Mm-hmm. So they're going to pump these out just like the Marvel movies, which I think eventually people will get sick of those. I think eventually people will get sick of seeing a new Star Wars movie every year. The brand is going to be thinned out, and then eventually it'll go away.
I think it already got thinned out in like the prequels, honestly.
But still, I mean, say what you want about the prequels, but it was the decisions of one filmmaker.
It was, but they were horrible decisions.
I agree.
I think that like
I agree, but they weren't in the original movie, and if
that's true,
I fear that, you know, decisions are being made to maximize dollars, and maximize the amount of potential sequels they could make.
I think that's kind of how the prequels were. Like, he probably did all that shit to maximize sales with a lot of the stuff he made. Like, I mean, not all of it, but like, there was just so many.
But it wasn't a soulless studio. It was a legendary filmmaker, George Lucas.
That's true. I mean, it is. I can't dispute that it was one person's vision, but honestly, like with the track record that like Disney's had for certain things, I think they could probably do a lot better than he can.
And they might.
Star Wars.
They might for starters, but I just think it's going to get watered down.
I mean, yeah, it's going to get watered down for sure. I mean, it's
I mean,
that's just the way things are. It's kind of, I felt the same way with Lord of the Rings when they fucking made The Hobbit. I was like, what is this shit? They're doing it again. They're going back to the well. At least those were books, though, I guess, that they made, but it was kind of like, you know.
That's, yeah.
Like, but the whole thing is, like, I've always wanted to see, like, what happened, like, after, not always wanted to see, but when they said they were going to make sequels, I always thought they were going to do, like, 7, 8, 9, and that's what I kind of wanted to see, and then they made the prequels. It's kind of nice that they're going to be doing... It was kind of surprising when George Lucas decided that he wanted to, like, sell Star Wars, but it kind of wasn't, because I remember, I mean, everybody, you know, being like, oh, man, the prequels are such shit, you fucked it up, you idiot, and then, like, he was just like, I'm done making movies, and then, like, you know, that kind of thing, so... I totally see, you know, yeah, it's definitely, it's not like one person is like the director, and he's like, okay, I'm the director head for every single one of these Star Wars movies that's ever going to come out from now until the end of time, so I have a vision.
Right.
If they have, like...
They're just hiring directors that are hot at the time.
Right.
Which is total bullshit. You know the guy that's directing the Star Wars movie that comes out next year? Rogue Squadron or whatever it's called? Is the guy that directed fucking Godzilla. One of the worst movies I've seen in years.
That movie wasn't too bad.
Here we go. But they're just getting, like, filmmaker of the week. All right, let's give that guy the 2016 movie. We'll give that guy a 2017 movie. Who's hot right now in the Oscar races? You know, who's the up and coming? Those are the kind of decisions they're making, as opposed to, let's just make a great movie.
I mean,
it's about furthering the brand.
Yeah,
is the
like
most important
fucking George Lucas made the prequels, and they were all shit. So.
Let's leave the prequels aside. This whole thing started by a visionary filmmaker.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because he was. Star Wars was the true vision of George Lucas.
Why do you laugh when you say that, by the way?
Because I sound like a douche when I say it. But it's true. It's just, you know.
Then Matt died. Because he faded away. It's just...
Goodbye, Mike. I'm going back to my own planet.
Jar Jar style.
Jar Jar, take me away.
We set free! You're like, well, Matt's gone. He's no longer here in the store. I mean, the place where we're recording this. He's actually still here. He's just not saying anything. He's like, yeah, me weird. Because he needs to shave his face. Did that, like, kill the podcast? Or is that the end? I don't know what to say. I'm just like,
Yeah, let's, so what are we doing next week?
I don't know, man.
We should probably figure this shit out. Like, we usually get the memos from the bosses here at the Matt and Mike Podcast Experience headquarters.
Usually it's
they've been coming in super late.
But
it's the show run by a committee, just like Star Wars. That's the problem. We need to fire these bosses and go rogue.
Whatever, our prequel fucking podcast was horrible.
Matt and Mike Podcast babies.
We were pooping all the time in our diapers. I don't know. What do you think, man? You're like, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I keep looking on your walls because you don't have any posters over there that I could. Last time I was like Batman, and the time before I was like Escape from New York. I was like John Carpenter. She had an Escape from New York poster.
Well, we could do. I mean, we're gonna have to bite the bullet sometime and do Terminator.
Okay.
Which means I'm gonna have to watch that fourth one again because I fell asleep during it. And watch it for the first time.
I've never seen it. Salvation.
It's gonna be torture.
But we will do it about Genesis
for you.
Yep. Okay. Next time, Terminator. So
thanks for listening. Leave us a comment if you made it this far. God bless you.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one of our longer ones because this was the Turtles / Star Wars debate.
It's always going to come back to Star Wars, unfortunately, because we're nerds, especially me. But
especially you. Oh, that was a weird sound. Okay, so next time, what was it again? Terminator. Okay.
Next time we're doing Star Wars.
Okay. Again.
But only
wait, have we done Star Wars
visionary filmmaker George Lucas.
So none of them.
Fuck you. I quit.
Have you even been to Skywalker Ranch?
That's it. You know what? I quit.
Are you serious?
I quit the show.
Shit.
This is gonna be our final episode because I'm done. I can't work like this anymore. Guess we're gonna have to end this episode on a cliffhanger.
Fuck this.
I'm out.
No. Don't leave. God damn it, man. Keep bullshit. Oh well. I guess I'll be talking about Terminator next time by myself.